If I could go back in time and sit down with myself, these are the 26 things that I would tell Melody in order to help her life be just a little bit easier. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Melody. I go by MJ, I go by Mel. It depends who you are, how long you've known me, but if you're new here, welcome. I typically do more music related or even just reading scripture kind of videos, but today, because I recently turned 26, I wanted to share a few words of wisdom that I think could really help you out regardless of your age. So let's dive into it, starting with just some practical things, but then towards the end we'll land in a place where it's really how my heart has been mended together by the Lord and just how you can get there without all of the delays that come with our own flesh getting in the way. So here are some hopefully helpful tips for all of you watching. Starting with number 26, sometimes when you are overstimulated and you just feel like your world is absolutely falling apart, everything is wrong, what you need to ask yourself is, when was the last time I ate something? This happens so much, and my husband has learned this over the past couple of years. If MJ is stressed, I need to get her a snack. Then everything will be better. I forget to eat a lot because I just get really caught up in whatever I am giving my energy to, whether that's just being a mom, whether that's recording something, cleaning the house, whatever it may be. I forget to eat a lot. And so if you have someone in your life that can really help you on this journey of being mindful of what your body needs, this is where it's going to come in really handy. Have them say, when was the last time you ate, honey? Can I get you a snack? Eat something and then revisit your problem. I 100% can tell you it's not going to feel as heavy after you've gotten some food into your system, after you've nourished your body. It fuels your brain to think clearer, especially if the snack that you choose is healthier, which is not always within our realm of possibility. But if you can manage to get your hands on some healthy food, you're going to solve the problem a lot quicker and easier. And maybe it wasn't even a problem you were facing. Maybe you were just hangry. Number 25 is for literally every person watching this video who goes into public, even in your own home. You don't even have to use this when you are going into public, honestly. Check the toilet paper before you sit down. You will be so grateful that you did. Let me tell you, there have been many times I have been stranded. And so being in that situation is not fun. You know what I'm talking about. You need to check before you sit down. There are people in public especially who just, they don't care. They're going to use the last little bit and let you figure it out for yourself. And at home, if you've got children, they don't know any better. So they're going to just roll, and then leave it for mom to find. If you can, keep an entire roll under the sink or within reach. To keep with the theme of things that are helpful when you are out in public, these are the 3 things that you need every time you leave the house. No, your phone is not on the list. For a very long time, people survived without phones. So you can survive without it. This is not on the list. And no, it is not money either. Believe it or not, you don't have to have money every time you leave the house. You don't have to spend money. You can enjoy your time out and about without splurging on things. But this is not the tip. The tip is leave the house with lip balm, water, and deodorant. You don't have to worry about lips chapping, which is a really uncomfortable feeling, and you think about it the entire time you're out. Or maybe it's just a girl thing, but I really struggle with that. If I don't have hydrated lips, I'm not having a good time. If you have water, again with the hydration, you're not gonna get a headache. You're not going to just buy some $7 drink because you're thirsty. Bring your own water. My husband's probably gonna watch this and be like, bring your water, MJ. Because I forget so many times and I just depend on his water. Then the third thing, the deodorant. You're just going to be a blessing to those around you. If you remember your deodorant, you're not going to be self-conscious. It's just good practice. So those are the 3 things that you need when you leave your house every time. Number 23 is one of my favorites. Secondhand shopping is a life-changing practice that you should start adding into your weekly routine. If you need something, go to the thrift store. Don't go to Target and pay 5 times for the price of something that you could get at a thrift store. There are so many things that are in really beautiful quality that people just don't need in the season of life that they are moved into that you are looking for. So it just gets passed on to you. You'll find so many treasures. Friends, you have no idea. This, case in point, is from a local thrift store. On the back of it is a certified print stating that this is like whatever number of the artist that made it, who is a local artist. This was at a thrift store. This at a local gallery would probably have been $300. I did not pay anywhere near that for this. So go and secondhand shop. Bless your home. Fill it with beautiful things that cost you so little. It's creative. It's kind to the planet. I could go on and on and on, but I'll make a different video sometime talking about how thrifting has changed my life. Another thing that has changed my life is motherhood. And with number 22, I believe we're on, in motherhood, silence is not golden. It is suspicious. And you will quickly learn this once you have a toddler. If you don't hear your child, that is not a sign of them just being asleep somewhere. That maybe happens like 1 out of 10 times. What it usually means is they have found something and they're tearing it up. They're taking all the wipes out of the wipe container. They are throwing things into the toilet. They are eating something that they found under the bed. Like they're doing something and they're quiet because they think they're gonna get away with it. But if you hear quiet, you know what I mean. If you hear quiet, go and find them as fast as you can. Let your children be independent. Let them go play in another room. But if it gets too quiet, you better go figure out where the magic erasers are and get to work, because that's probably what's happening. Number 21, another thing that I have learned in motherhood and that I still struggle with, but I'm getting better at it, is to ask for help. Do not go your life without asking for help. You are not a burden to people. You are not showing that you are weak. You are showing that you are vulnerable and you are in a season where you're learning to be dependent on the Lord and the people that He's brought into your life who may be walking in the exact same season. It is not shameful. It might be uncomfortable to ask for help, especially if you are a firstborn daughter. That is something that we have to put down, unlearn, rewire our brain. But once you start putting into practice just the text to a sister friend, hey, I'm lonely and the kids are driving me insane. I love them, but I don't know how to do this by myself. That is why God brings these people into your life, so you don't have to feel lonely, so you don't have to feel like all the pressure is on you. You can do it with friends, and they want to help you, I promise. Good friends want to be there for their friends. They just don't know how to be there for you if you don't tell them that you need help. It can be as simple as asking them to come over so that you can take a shower. That's so real. It could be as simple as meeting a mom at a local park around the corner. Let your kids run around with her kids. Drink coffee with somebody so that you're talking to an adult for a few minutes. It helps our brain so much, so much. Community is biblical and it is put there for a reason. Let it bless you. Just let it bless you. In that vein, this one is quick and simple. I know we don't love the sink. I know that it is always full with something. getting filled with something. The moment that you decide, I'm going to empty this into the dishwasher, I'm gonna wash all the gunk into the garbage disposal and run it so it doesn't smell bad. The minute that you do that, you have set yourself up for success. It is a 10-minute job that will change the trajectory of your day, of your mood, of your energy. You'll feel accomplished and get a little bit of a dopamine hit just by taking 10 minutes to take care of the sink. And if you are too exhausted, husbands, this is a really, really easy, quick way to make your wife feel like she's not in it alone. Talk to Kyle if you need to. He is a pro at this. Number 19 is something that I actually learned from Kyle, as he has become quite the reader in our home. A book can nourish your soul in a way that screens never will. This kind of goes hand in hand with the whole like get away from Instagram, get away from social media kind of thing. Screens distract, but books, they trigger a different part of our brain that stimulates imagination, creativity. I need to find more scientific terms so that I can really portray this in the way that it needs to be, but all I can say is that books nourish your soul. They really do. Number 18, we're gonna stick with the theme of screens because everyone has a digital life. If you find yourself as a firstborn daughter with people-pleasing tendencies, this one is for you. Not every text needs a reply right away. This is how we place boundaries in our digital life. Sometimes you'll get bombarded by people firmly but kindly laying down those boundaries, especially if you have a family, over your digital communication is really, really going to help your mind and your heart and your relationships. It's just going to help all of it. So unless it's an urgent matter with like your kids or your job, give it a second, because sometimes we'll get like very emotional when we're responding to something, and then we'll just say something out of that emotion that we really could have sifted through if we gave it time. So it's just helpful to give it a few minutes, couple hours, overnight, and then respond. They're not going to hate you. If they hate you, I would check that friendship. Speaking of friendships and relationships, your dreams are not a burden to the people in your life that you call friends and you call family. The right people will help you carry those dreams. They won't let them die. They will see it through in the moments that you want to give up on your own dreams. That's how you know that they are truly sent to you to keep your iron sharpened, to keep your creativity alive. And it goes out in every direction. It's not just like a one-sided relationship principle that, you know, the husband keeps the wife's dreams alive but lets his own die. The wife keeps the husband's dreams alive and doesn't let it die. It goes both ways, and you flourish and thrive together and grow in your capacity to create and inspire other people. Like if you support each other, and this is in friendships too, it doesn't have to be just in marriage. Supporting one another in each other's dreams ensures that those dreams on both sides get to bear good fruit. And that is something to practice in encouraging one another and building each other up and calling each other out in kindness and compassion when someone starts slacking. And the final thing I'll say on that, I think I would make a more detailed video on this, or maybe a Patreon post of some sort, but the final thought on that is if someone tells you it's selfish for you to dream and to have passions, that is a really big red flag and something that you should evaluate in your entire relationship with that person. Number 16 carries on with the message of boundaries. You're gonna see a pattern here. I had to learn the hard way with boundaries my entire life. And so you'll hear it a lot from me as I am still learning and practicing this. Boundaries are how I stay close with people without losing myself. Boundaries start with the courage to say no. It's hard. it's hard for people like me. And it got me into a lot of trouble, especially in my teens, where I did not know how to say no. I constantly would think about the other person's response to my no instead of what I actually wanted. And that led me into many friendships, many relationships that failed and did not honor the Lord. And I think I could have kept that from happening if I just said no to a lot of things. Now, there were times that I did say no that people dishonored. That's a whole other story. But laying down boundaries for yourself in every kind of relationship that you live out is going to protect your heart, their heart, everybody involved, and keep you true to that person. Because when we don't have boundaries, we become what the other person wants us to be. And then the problem with what I did is people get used to the no boundary-ness of your life, and then they get really upset when you start having some structure to relationships and some reality to the person you are, because they really benefited from who you were without boundaries. So think about the friendships that you really want to have. Are they founded in truth? Are they founded in honesty with one another, with who you are? You don't want to waste time when you could just be yourself and hold really strong, compassionate boundaries. And when someone that is meant for you sees that, it can be a friend, it can be a spouse. When they see the truest version of yourself and how you are rooted and you're not going to move on certain things, that right person will respect those things and will fall in love with those things. And if it is a friend that is supposed to be in your life forever, your foundation will be so strong and it'll be so healthy and God-honoring and kingdom-building, because you're not going to waste time on being fake with everybody. It's not fun. It's not fun. I know it can be worrisome that you will lose people, but you don't want to keep people that aren't meant for you. We have such little time on this earth, and we don't want to waste a second trying to convince people to stay when they weren't even supposed to be on your path. That carries into the next point. People pleasing is not peacekeeping. It's not taking that verse of being peacemakers. No, nuh-uh. It's self-abandonment. People pleasing is self-abandonment. And that is not honoring the Lord, because we were created by Him. We can't abuse what He has made in order to please man. I'm looking at you. And to just wrap all of that up, no is a complete sentence that protects my peace. You don't have to explain yourself to every single person who doesn't get it. You don't. No is a complete sentence. It can end there. Period. No. That's all. Not how or why or when or no. No. Just say no and let the Lord handle the rest. Number 14. Releasing is just as holy as holding on to the right things. Some people are only chapters. They are not meant to be part of the entire story. Sometimes we grow at different stages, and that means that certain friends will be left behind because it is not their time to go where you're going. And releasing that can be really difficult, but can be the one thing that catapults you into the calling that the Lord has on your life. And we don't do it disrespectfully. We do it with peace. We do it with kindness. And that's why I said bless and release. I spent some time in this direct sales group, made some really good friendships. And this was one thing that they would say with customers, because I would get really attached. I would want to see others succeed and I would want to see customers happy. But a lot of times you have to just bless and release those people and know that the Lord has them and has you. And all of it, if you are doing it with the right heart posture, is going to bless him and the people witnessing it. Now that I'm saying all these things out loud, it's apparent to me that all of it kind of like weaves through. There's like this thread that's weaving through all of these points, and I hope that maybe you can see it. But number 13 is healing is not linear. We would love it to be. It's like here, this happened, and then I healed here. And then this happened, and then I healed here, and then I healed here. And healing comes in layers. It's like an onion where you peel it back piece by piece. And right when you think that you've arrived at full-hearted healing, the Lord says, time to peel back another layer. And it is a lifetime of walking out healing, because there are things that happen in our childhood that root themselves really deeply. 30 years later, someone will say something and it triggers that thing that the Lord is now allowing you to face, because you've built up perseverance in the time in between, where now that you look at that, you're not going to feel the shame. You're not going to feel guilt. You're going to actually look at it through the eyes of the Father, through the eyes of Jesus. And with the help of the Holy Spirit, you can actually mend something that happened over here that was triggered by this, and actually get to the root of it and no longer carry it on. The Lord will tell us that it's time for that. So we'll heal a little bit here, just like surface level. We'll go on and live some life. Some other things will happen. We'll learn some wisdom. And then the Lord will say, okay, take that. We're going to peel back another layer. And there are things that go so far back for me, where I was talking to a friend about this just a few days ago, where I won't even be thinking about it, but that time of year will come around where this event happened years ago, and my body will remember it. So you can heal things in your mind, in your heart, at different times. And it's a journey of connecting those things. It's important to go ahead and acknowledge that healing is not linear. It's not like, here are timestamps and this is when it's expected to happen. It doesn't ever go as expected, because the Lord, who is the healer, who is the comforter, who knows the beginning to the end, he's outside of all of the time. When he brings us into his perfect plan for the timing of our healing, we have to yield to it. Number 12, some lessons will repeat themselves until you respond differently. I want you to think back to the last time you vented to your friend and you said, I hate that this always happens. Why does this always happen to me? Why do I always choose the wrong guy? Or does this sound familiar? A lot of us will notice that there is a pattern to the things we experience. And the Lord allows certain things to happen in cyclical manner until we respond and break that cycle. And if we respond the same way every single time, it's just going to keep repeating. But the moment that we say, Lord, I yield to you and I relinquish control over this thing, you take it. Or help me understand what I'm supposed to learn from this, or help me to respond in a way that honors you, so that this is not a pattern that keeps occurring. Help me to choose better. Help me, whatever it might be, until we respond in the way that he wants us to, the thing is going to keep coming back. So examine your responses and examine your part of a cycle that might be happening in your life. I'm reading number 11 now, and I kind of touched on this earlier, but let's just put a pretty bow on it. Explaining myself to people committed to misunderstanding me is no longer my hobby. It's just not it. You are not for everyone, and that's a gift. I know you'd love to be for everyone, and for everyone to be happy with you. If you're anything like me, if you're like my husband, you're like, if I've got my wife and my kids, I'm great. Who cares about other people? But for me, I love having friends, and I love being loved. I do. I love feeling that warmth when I get to walk into a room and everyone's happy that I'm there and no one's being two-faced. I get to be a blessing to everyone, and I get to build happy memories with the community that I'm in. I love that. So when the moments come where someone feels like they just don't want to be friendly towards me, and I've given them absolutely no reason to be responding that way, it messes with me. It really does. And I've had to give that to the Lord, where I need to be okay with not being everyone's friend, because that's not how He intended it to be. Even though I would love for everyone to just be happy with me. I used to shrink myself to make myself so easily consumable for whoever I'd meet. And that took away so much from my life. Those who recognize the value in me being me are the ones that I don't even have to convince to stay. They come alongside with love that feels like Jesus. And it doesn't go away, and it is tangibly what I've known the Lord to be, but it's through people that He has sent. And so don't waste time trying to convince people to stay. I know I said this a minute ago, but don't waste time trying to convince somebody that you're valuable. There are people out there who see it without you saying anything. And when you find them, the things that the Lord has planned for you guys in friendship and in relationship and in life building and kingdom building, it is beyond what you could ever imagine. I promise. With learning to not shrink myself to something easily consumable for people. I wish there was another way to say that, but that's just what's coming to mind. I denied a lot of my paradoxical traits. So something that I now have learned to accept is that I can be soft and strong. I can be both. I can have hobbies like reading and writing. Hint, hint, I'm writing. And I can also be somebody who is incredibly extroverted and who loves to just sit in a room of people and observe and smile, because I love just being around people and be energized by that. But I can also be somebody who likes solitude and who's not scared of it anymore, and have a wide variety of things that take up space in my heart. I can be all of those things and not just be in this little box that people would like me to be in. And number 9 is it's okay for my mind to change as I grow, for my likes to change as I grow. I don't have to stick to one thing because that's what I've given 10 years of my life to. I can actually move on to new things. I can move on to new seasons and come back to those things later. As long as it has nothing to do with foundational faith or my salvation, my thoughts on things should change. As I grow, as I learn more, as I understand how much I don't know, my understanding of the world around me and my feelings toward it should change. And if they're not, I might want to check my growth, because I might be stagnant. And that is not a fun place to be. So you should be reading, considering, and asking the Lord questions as you live life and build memories. Your thoughts on certain things should shift, because we haven't figured everything out. And as long as we remain humble, the Lord will reveal new things to us. Number 8 is a slow life can be a full life. We live in a culture that is so busy. Be productive. Do something that is going to help the world. And I think social media is a problem. I know that this is a YouTube video, but I think seeing social media every single day and having access to that and feeling like you have to do more, messes with us, because it pushes us into this thing where we believe that our value is tied to what we do. And that's not biblical. It's not. And in being so performance mindset, we forget how to rest. The Holy Spirit will speak clearest when you're still. And so we need to have moments regularly when we rest, when we are still, and when we listen, so that we know what's supposed to be next. As we slow down, as we unhurry, a lot more of life will make sense. There is a book that I highly recommend called The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry by John Mark Comer. Read it and let your life be changed. I'm gonna leave it there. Number 7, my worth is not in my productivity. I know I just kind of touched on that, but my worth has nothing to do with my productivity. My identity is a daughter of the King, and it was that before I did anything. He called me beloved before I did anything. So our value, our worth, the way that we receive love is not due to us doing something. We receive salvation because of what Jesus did, not anything that we do. If we did something to earn salvation, what is Jesus for? Okay? So apply that to literally everything. Your productivity does not determine your value. The next thing that I will say to tie into those points is God is not rushed even when I am. Even when I think something needs to be accomplished way quicker, He is always strolling down and taking His time and not falling off of His throne because He's watching His daughter make these mistakes. And after all of that, He won't shame me for being at a different pace. He gently and lovingly will bring me back into His rhythm, and all is well. It's that simple. Another really amazing thing that I have learned about the Lord over the years is that He hears me even when I'm silent. I can think certain things, certain desires and prayers within my own mind and never speak them out, and He hears them and He answers them that day. It's mind-blowing. It is so beautiful how kind of a Father He has been and how everyone has access to that. We can think something so specific and small, and He hears it and He cares about it because He loves us that much. And that has been one of my favorite things about the Lord over the years, that I know that even when I'm quiet, my dad's listening to me, and He cares about the smallest things that should teach us to observe those that we love and bless them with the things that they love, because we're modeling what we've experienced from God Himself. Number 4 is some prayers are seeds that are planted in a season and won't bloom till years later. Again, with the Lord not being in a rush. I remember things that I hoped in my heart as a little girl that I'm just now seeing come into fruition in this year. And some of those things I feel like are because of my own delay, my fear, or my decisions, or whatever it may be. He hears the prayers, and those seeds are planted, but it takes time for it to bear good fruit and for it to finally come to the surface even. If you have prayed something and are still hoping and you are still waiting, know that it will come. It will come when He says it's time. Number 3, what I walk through is what I can speak to. The Lord allowed a lot of things to happen in my life in the last 26 years. I know that probably sounds silly to people that are older than me. They're like, you're so young, what are you talking about? But I truly have lived many lives in the matter of time I've walked on the earth, many lives. And on the other side of it, now I have authority over so much. And I'm able to connect with so many people, so many girls, so many moms who have walked similar journeys and who have dealt with the same things, and now have authority and integrity in a place that I can speak to it over them to guide them into their own victories, to help them build their own testimonies. And it's really beautiful how the Lord takes those moments and turns them into something that is so beyond us. And I'm so grateful for how he does it. Number 2 is my weakness is where the Lord loves to meet me. And that can be your story too, that wherever you feel the most insufficient or unqualified, that is exactly where the Lord loves to meet you, where we recognize that we need him the most. Lord, I need you in this particular area because I literally do not have any idea or any capacity or any strength to carry this or to accomplish this, but I want it to come forth for your glory. Would you help me? That's the kind of prayers that he wants to hear from his kids. And the moment that we say that, it is the scripture where he says, in our weakness, he is made strong. That is where he comes in and becomes so real. And our testimony is built even more so from those places. And finally, number 1, peace is a person. Peace is not the absence of all these things that have caused you stress. Peace is a person who comes into the middle of whatever chaos is around you and calms your heart, calms your thoughts, stills the waters of your mind. It is Jesus. I want to get it written on my arm that apart from me, you can do nothing. Abide in me, abide in me. Apart from me, you can do nothing. That is the secret to all of the things. You will live life to its fullest if you are in Jesus, if you are in the vine. John 15, read it over and over and over until it becomes just part of you. Abide in the Lord. Apart from him, you can do nothing. You can't succeed in anything. No good thing comes from anywhere else but God. Literally nowhere else can produce any good thing except from Jesus. If we abide in him, we find peace in his presence. We find hope restored when we've lost it. We find healing in thought patterns, in places in our heart that we didn't even know existed, because he created us and he knows us better than we know ourselves. And the moment that we say, Lord, I relinquish control, I give up my right to be offended, I ask you to renew my mind so that it becomes like you, so that everything that I am abiding in becomes something that overflows out of me and onto the lives that you bring to my path. When that becomes our morning prayer before we get out of bed, our lives will be changed for the better. Let that sink in. Let it stay with you. Let it change your life the way it has changed mine. And a lot of these things I just stepped into in the past couple of years. It takes realizing that you need the Lord. You need him. You will always need him. You will need him more and more and more. That is a good place to be. That is all for today, friends. I will see you next time. If this video has blessed you, please comment down below which word of wisdom really stuck out to you. Share it with the people in your life that you think would also be blessed by it. And make sure you're subscribed and have rung that bell so you're notified the next time a video comes out, because that will be soon. That's all for today. You are loved so much, so much. We'll see you next time.